What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Bricks and Toys. Today, I am excited to announce that we are here with this adorable puppy. The only thing is, we gotta put it together in order to enjoy it. Now, this set follows along a successful line, well, maybe successful, I don't get Lego's numbers, of Lego buildable characters. As you see on my desk, we do have two of those characters with us right now. We have the Lego Ideas Tuxedo Cat, which is $100 from Lego, and we have the Young Simba 18 and older set from last year as well. That cost $130. And now we're here with the $150 101 Dalmatians. Which Dalmatian is it? Well, it's any one of the 101 of them. So let's go over this box together, and these two are going to be hanging out because I think this set might break a norm that we see with these two, and I kind of wanted these two to be here just to reference if we do get a chance to break that norm that is common between this guy and this guy. So let's see as we go over this unboxing, box review, and all of that. So $150 for this new one. It is set number 43269 with 1,722 pieces. In case you're wondering, Young Simba over here was about 1,400 and some change, 1,422 I think. I'm not exactly sure. So for $20 more, you are getting about 300 more pieces, just in case you are wondering. Now this is an 18 and older set, like I mentioned before, so thus we have the traditional black box and greeble bottom. The really cool thing that I like about this is it's a Dalmatian. So of course the black box makes sense. So what color is the greeble bottom going to be? Well, it's going to be in white, because what color are Dalmatians? Black and white. Obviously, there's one right there on the box. Up here at the corner, we have the Disney 101 Dalmatians logo. Over here, we got the dog imposed on the box, or should I say puppy. There is kind of a light bluish hue around the body of the puppy himself. And if we didn't already understand that this is a Disney set, we got a bigger logo down here with the Lego logo as well. Now, just looking at the front of this box together really quick, we can see the norm that I'm talking about. Can you guys see the norm that I'm talking about? Any ideas? Well, these guys sit the same on their hind end with their front paws up, doing a kind of a normal posture of a sitting animal. He's crouching. That is really freaking cute. Not that there's anything wrong with how these two are just chilling out, but okay, we got young Simba, we got the Ideas cat, now we're going to get a Dalmatian. How's the Dalmatian going to sit? Well, it's going to sit like Simba. Okay, so I'm just going to have a row of animals all sitting the same way. Well, you know what? If that is how it is, then you know what? That's how it's going to be. But Lego was like, nah, bro, I got you. And now we have a new posture, and it's crouching. But I also think that there's other postures included with this set. And we're going to find that out as we go along, because I think we do actually have to build the set differently for how it's going to sit on your display. But I'm not quite sure yet, so don't hold me to that. Let's continue to take a look at the box. On the side of the box, well, we got the puppy, kind of making a happy, like, hey, I'm over here face, which is really cute. More Lego and Disney logos over there. On this side, we have the country of origin and our do not eat it. We don't like to eat dog. And then over here, we got more Lego and Disney up here. At the top of the box, we don't really have anything. We got more Lego and Disney logos. And then we have a one-to-one of one of the pieces of the set, maybe a nose piece or something. Well, the nose is black, so it's hard to say. I don't know. Maybe that's the tongue piece right there. Anyway, going to the bottom of the box, we have that white greebled bottom, but in this broken off area, we do have a pair of Disney ears, making this an authentic Disney product, I guess. Lego.com and app information, Legal Eagles, and our barcode and recycling information, as we normally do. Coming to the back of the box, this is where we get the details. Now we see him sitting like young Simba and the Ideas Tuxedo Cat. So in case you are wondering, does he have to crouch? This is what I'm talking about. No, he doesn't. This is a really cool feature of this set, and I think it's one of the reasons that the set does cost $20 more, besides the piece count, obviously, than its prior counterpart from the year before. Going over our nice selection of thumbnails on the side of the box, it does tell us he does sit from nose to tail at about 12 inches. His height is about 10.5 inches tall, and that is in the position like young Simba over here. Then we have another thumbnail of basically of how he looks here on the box. Then we got another thumbnail of how he looks on the other side of the box with his head kind of, you know, do the puppy tilt treats. And then we have him where it shows whether he can be crouching or sitting. Like we can alternate between the two. So that is our thumbnails. Now there is another thing with this set that we are going to assume, and that is the fact of, well, we can't really see it anywhere else. Oh, by the way, there's that tongue element that I pointed out on the top of the box, so that was tongue, not nose. Anyway, is I did also read that you could change the color between the blue color that you see here and also a red. But you know what, guys? We're not going to get anywhere making assumptions about this set unless we just cut this box open and we see what it entails to build this guy. So let's get it open. Okay, so we're going to have 2 pieces of tape, 1 and 2, right there. And I'm going to give you guys the first look like I always do. I am so excited for this one. The moment that I saw it, I was like, I have to get this set. And you know the really cool thing is, I seen one of the original 101 Dalmatian movies back in the 90s when I was a young kid, maybe even a toddler. And I don't remember the movie in the movie theater with my mom all that much. It was just her and I that went to see it. The only thing I remember is the taste of my mom's purse. I just remember chewing on her leather purse the whole movie. I know that's kind of random and weird, but I saw 101 Dalmatians in theaters, but I only paid attention to the purse. The things that you remember from when you were a child. I saw a movie, but I only paid attention to chewing on my mom's purse. Hey, I was growing my teeth, dang it. So let's look at the box. Okay, so our box is full to the brim. So let's go ahead and let's do our pour. And there is our pour. Now, I do see quite a few bags here, everybody. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to count them out. And I'm going to say we have about 13 bags total. Let's see if that's correct. Okay, so I'm just finishing out my counting. So far we have 10 bags over here. And we have bags 11 and bags 12. So we have 12 bags total to build this set. And then we have our book or books. So let's go ahead. Let's open it up. And let's get a look. There we are. Okay, so we have stickers. I know that there's 101 Dalmatians. We actually have about 7 different options for the name on the collar. This was a surprise. Take a look at the sticker sheet, everybody. Okay, so we can see here, that's our 1-to-1 of the tongue that we saw on the top of the box. But then we just have a normal star. But then we have these other ones down here that's like the normal star for the collar. But we do have the characters' names of Lucky, Patch, Rolly, Penny, Freckles, and Pepper. I do remember some of these names from the movie. But that is an interesting one because now we have to make the decision of which one of these do we want to make our Dalmatian. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's pull out our books. So I'm just going to go over this with you guys without even knowing what the hell I'm talking about because we are experiencing this together. So we got our first book here with our QR code for our 20 points. This does indicate bags 1 through 4, and it does show the puppy in the crouching position. We then go to another book of it in the crouching position that says 5 to 6. Okay, and then we go to it still crouching 7 to 8. And then we got the last in the crouch position, 9 to 12. So they have this broken up into 4 individual books right off the rip. That is very interesting. Now let's go over our first book and let's see what we can get from these books. I just realized on the back is 101 Dalmatians, and I was wondering if there's any other information besides just that logo, but no, it's just that. So we go into the book, and we instantly are greeted with the companion set of this set, which is, I think it's a 4 and older Dalmatian. It's the same thing that they did with this guy when he was released. They made one for the kids, and that way they weren't, excluded from enjoying the Disney set. And then over here, we have the Customize Your Puppy. We got Patch. We got Penny. So the ears are different. The spots are obviously different. And see the collar changes over here. Spots are changing, ears are changing, that is all changing. We have Rolly and Pepper. And then we go into the actual build. And then this build book will take us all the way to 177 steps and 96 pages. And it builds a really morphed up looking version of the dog. That looks really sick. I don't know why. It's just disturbing. Okay, so book one, we got some characters that we can choose from of how we want to style our Dalmatian. That is a wrench in the gears a little bit. It's not as simple as building a generic 101 Dalmatian. No, we got some characters. Okay, so what does the next book bring us? Obviously, it starts off at bag number 5, as it says, and it says we're going to start by building a leg. The step counter does reset, so let's see where this takes us all the way to the back. So it does take us another 106 steps and about 50 or 51 pages. It doesn't say anything other than that, so let's just continue. Now, we got our third book, and of course, it starts off at bag 7, resets the step counter, and this guy takes us another 113 steps and 53 pages. And then we have our last book. It is worth noting, I don't know why, but all these books are kind of stapled together. This one is actually glued and seamed together. So this book is always going to start off at bag number 9, resets the step counter. So let's go to the back of the book. And we're going to have another 249 steps and 115 pages to get this guy done. And I'm going to guess somewhere in these books, it's going to tell you to take a pause. Yes, that's how it does it. And it's going to say if you want to build it with this color tone, switch to this page. If you want to build it with that color tone, go over to that page. I'm going to guess it's going to do that for the spots. It's going to do that for the collars. It's going to do that for everything as we come along the build. So, guys, this is actually one that's thrown a wrench in my gears. I thought I was just going to build a cute 101 Dalmatian puppy dog for you guys. But now they made this personal. They took it up a notch. They have these character names. And what I would like to do is stop, collaborate, listen. Anyway, I want to take a break, and I actually want to watch 101 Dalmatians again and see which one of these characters I favorite the most and maybe design my puppy after that character. So before I let you guys go, I just kind of stopped and stared at the wall here for a minute, and I was thinking, like, 101 Dalmatians is a very old movie. I don't feel like it's one of the 90s movies, but yet I remember seeing it in the theater. But I'm looking at my phone here, and when I was 5 years old, John Hughes did a kind of like a live action version of 101 Dalmatians. That's probably what I'm thinking of. My mom went and watched the live action and took me along with her. That's what I remember, is watching the live action. No wonder I wasn't interested in it, and I was interested in chewing on my mom's purse. It was a Disney live action movie. Ugh. Well, okay, so that solves that. The original 101 Dalmatians is from 1961, which was the year that my mom was born, so she obviously wasn't even a kid when the first one came out. But that's the one I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch the 1961 original animated movie and make my pick on what character I build. I'm picking the character based on the original 101 Dalmatians movie, not any of the live-action remakes or the spin-offs, and God knows. It's too much, guys. Disney does too much. And you know what? One last fun little thing I thought about while I was unboxing this set and before I did this review is $150 for this Lego set is sure in a whole lot cheaper than actually adopting a Dalmatian puppy. A Dalmatian puppy can cost you anywhere from $500 to $5,000. Fun facts. It's cheaper to buy Lego sometimes than it is to actually buy the real thing. I know with young Simba here, it's far more legal to own him than an actual lion. Okay, guys, that's enough tomfoolery. Let's go and let's get this built. You guys are going to get to see what I chose to build in the review right here. Okay, everybody, let's dive in to the review of our puppy dog. And, well, this 101 Dalmatian, I ended up going with Lucky. Hence the 2 black ears. And other than a collar, you really don't know. So, let's just go over the general structure, parts, all of that good stuff, and then we'll get into the meatier bits and all of that. Things I don't like, and there is some things on here, and yeah, let's get started. Let's get started from the back. And here at the back, we can see that we don't have a exit hole, but that is fine. I don't think that they put exit holes in those kind of body parts in the Disney movies anyway. We can see lots of curved elements making that hind end, and the occasional piece like these rounded pieces that we see on a lot of these sets to make the belly. We can see that we have an interesting technique to angle the legs that is done really nice, and traditional plates and angle plates and all of that to make the legs. Coming over here to the side, we got some spots. here and there. Those are just tile elements. And then we have the traditional elements that we usually see in feet to make the feet, toes, and all of that. And there is some interesting techniques here to make the legs, and I guess they make the legs stand up. We got to go over all of that, and that's why I'm just trying to get through all these curved pieces and all of that. There we can see one of those big belly pieces right there used for his hind end, with some more spots on plates with curved elements. We have some of the tree stump elements in white to make the tail, waggy waggy. And then coming down over here, we have the legs, more of the same thing, curved elements, angled plates. We have Technic joints to give it to where it's cocked in and yet it's flat. And that goes throughout the whole entire thing here. And then we got some more of the tile dots on the legs. Now the spots on the Dalmatian are not specific to the dog. They don't tell you where to put the spots per the dog because there's really no way to do that. The only time you ever really get to choose the dog is by the head and what colors you want the eyes and the ears. That's it. And also the collar. Going into the collar area, you can kind of start to see it looks kind of interesting down into there. We'll get to there in a moment. In the back of the head, more round elements and all of that like we would expect. Big chunky round elements, as a matter of fact. And then we have the nice plates for the flappy ears. You know, it gets the job done. Looks a wee bit simple to compared to how much is done on the dog. You get to the ears and it's just a flap. That's kind of, yeah, I don't know. It seems like there's so much to make this that just to put one piece with nothing is kind of like odd to me. I don't know why. Anyway, we get into the eyes, which are printed. They're basically dish elements on bigger rounded elements. And then we have sausages for the eyebrows. Picking the puppy up very carefully. We can start to look under. We can see a clip joint right there. We'll get to that later. And then we can see that the belly of the beast, that head joint does not look good at all. And there we can see Lucky's sticker for his name tag. And then we can see those bottom plates I pointed out, as well as the inner side of the feet and all of that. And yeah, let's get him back down before he falls apart. Last time I moved him like that, he fell apart badly. Now, one interesting thing with this set is the ears. And I'll show you guys what I mean. But let's just say there's extra parts in the back. That is a hidden storage compartment. And we have extra parts in here. And let's go over this. As I mentioned before, we can see that we have our choice of puppies. Patch, Penny, Freckles, Lucky, and I think and Rolly and Pepper. So with this, we can see they got the name tags. They got special placement of the freckles on the ears or the spots on the ears. They have different brick usage for the ears as well as like on going all the way back. Patch has the literally black eye and such like that. Some have the blue collar, some have red. I think red is male, blue is female. Not exactly sure. But you see on this guy, which is Lucky, which is one I built, you have the two black ears. And on some, you got it where it's black and white. I can't find it exactly, but you can see where it's flipped, where this one's white and this one's black. Even though that's not a selection in here, but I'll show you why this is kind of weird to me. So when you get to the last book, book number 4, and you build the ears on page 73, it tells you to go to page 74 to go right, white, left, black, or if you're looking from this direction, left and right, but I'm going from the other way, as if our head was theirs. And then go to page 89 to do the opposite of what I just said. But what if you want to go black and black? Or if you want to go white and white? So you literally have to use the 18 and older knowledge that the Lego set is to put together that you're going to go to page 74, skip building the white ear, and build the black ear. And then you're going to go to page 89 and build the black ear and skip the white ear. And that's how you get the two black ears. So if you guys are wondering if there's a Lego set that makes you put things together for yourself and there's no instructions to necessarily how to do it, well, here it is. So where does all these extra pieces go? Well, like I already said, some of them go into a bag, all the plates and all of that. But the more specific pieces for the set are hidden in here, like all the extra dog tags and the collar color that is in there. And there's another piece hidden in here that covers up a part of the head that gets exposed when you do stand the set up. And you know what? That does it for this part of the video. Now let's come back out and not only wrap up the video, but let's see about getting this dog up on its legs, like say our Tuxedo and Simba over here. So I can show you guys how that is done. Okay guys, so I'm still holding on to book number 4. I didn't practice this. I just figured we would do this part together. The book has you literally build it exactly the way that you see, with the exception of the ears. As I said in the review segment, you kind of got to put that together for yourself. The only things that the book really goes over is the collar color. Here at this point, you can go blue, you can go red. It's up to you to have read the beginning of book 1 to know that there's several different puppies you can model your puppy after, and that is something that you do refer back to. For me, I went with Lucky, went back, double checked, red collar, correct, red, used it, he put on his name tag, done. They do give you enough medallion pieces to label all of them with all of the name tag stickers, so that is really nice to know. So you don't have to pick one or the other. You literally can switch them out at any time. And with a quick dig in its guts, we can see these are our extra pieces for our collar, and we got all of those name tags right here. Pepper, Penny, a generic one, Freckles, Patch, and Raleigh. So those are all in there. We can put all those back, put all that back. This is a pretty large cavity inside of it, just like the one that we have with the cat. I guess you could either put Legos in there or hide stuff from the feds, if that is your thing, or hide money from people that don't have as good as taste as you. Only people with taste will know to look inside of these cavities for your stash. And then we have an extra tongue element. We'll get to that in a second. And then we have this extra piece, which we'll get to in a second. So that's the cavity. That's the stickers and stuff, so you don't have to have the extra pieces. Now, what about getting this puppy to actually come up, where it sits like the cat or like Simba? And that's why we are here for this segment of video. We're going to do this together. So let's go ahead, and the instructions for this are in the back of the book. So children, close your eyes because you're not going to want to see this part. You start with decapitating the head. Oh, Lego, this is sick. Anyway, that is your puppy's head. See, that does come off really easy. This is very heavy, and I don't feel like this is actually strong enough to actually withhold it all that well. And so the next thing that we do besides the head is we start tearing off the legs. So we're going to tear off the legs. Now, it is worth noting as we tear off these legs that the first few bags builds just this alone. Then the next book and the next couple of bags builds the hind legs. The next book with the next couple of bags builds these legs. And then the final book, which is one in front of me, is what builds your head and the final, 2 or 3 bags or whatever. So now that we have completely dismembered our Lucky over here, we need to start putting it back together. But before we do that, we got to continue to further dismember Lucky. I forgot. The legs come apart just like that. So we want to do that. And I think we also want to dismember it from here. No, keep that like that. Okay, my bad, Lucky. Sorry for taking you apart more than I have to. So, okay, now we're all fully dismembered. Okay, great. So you don't dismember the back legs. So what it's actually going to have us do, this is a trip, guys. See, this is why we're going to do this together. Once you have your puppy fully dismembered, you then go back, you grab your front leg, you take out this middle piece you saw me do, and then you put that back without that piece, and this now becomes your back leg. So we're going to do that again. So we're going to put our leg back together. Front leg now becomes the hind leg. So that's really interesting. The front becomes the hind, and then we're going to go do that again. We just did that. And then we're going to take our front legs. I'm going to put our front legs in the front, our rear legs into the front, excuse me. And there he sits. Okay. Actually, this is pretty good, actually. This is really cool. We did that again, and then we want to install its head. And so the head's going to have a green connection and a red connection. So we're going to go with the red connection this time. And then I'm going to guess we're going to finish up with sticking this back piece on to cover up the back of his head. And there we have it. He's in the sitting position, as easy as that. Wow, guys. And this is what the compartment in the back of the dog is for moments like this of where you can take these pieces and stuff them in there. So I got to take some stuff out of here, but yeah, we can definitely do that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to keep him actually sitting up because I like him sitting down or pouncing. I've been walking into the room and seeing him on my desk like you see on the box, and I've been going, who's a good boy? I cannot help myself. It just looks that cute. And then to add the final flair, if we want it to, now that he sits up, you go in there and we find that clip joint I showed you guys earlier, and we stick that on there. And then that's how we make him like Simba and the Tuxedo Cat. Our job is done here, everybody. So that's really cool. So to summarize, when you build him and he's down in the playful pounce pose, his front legs become his rear legs with the removal of these center sections, and his rear legs become his fronts, and then his head goes on, piece goes on, tongue comes out, and da-da-da-da. And then you put his collar out like that. That's actually pretty cool. I'm really impressed with that one, Lego. That is really unique. So guys, now we're at the official wrap-up segment. We figured out what dismembering the dog does and rearranging its body parts, and it does that, so that's cool. So $150 for this set. It's $20 more than our Simba over here, $50 more than our unlicensed Lego Tuxedo Cat. What do I think about the price? I don't think it's actually all that bad at all. My only complaints with the set, and that I already kind of went over, is I don't like how everything seems so detailed, and yet just the front of the ears just seems so, that's it. So I don't like that. I don't have any better ideas to counteract it, so I'm not exactly sure what could have been done to make that look a little bit better. I also don't really like how when he is in that playful pose, you can't really see his name tag. But other than that, guys, this is a really cool set. It's a little advanced. This is, I hate to say it, I feel like this is the most advanced 18 and older set that actually I've ever built. And I don't mean that as like it's a hard build. I mean that as like, it gets to a certain point of the book to where you got to figure it out for yourself. It doesn't tell you that you have to combine the steps to get certain things done. And I think that's pretty cool, because I remember hearing stories that Lego used to do that to us. And with this set, it comes back. So that's really cool. So I do like the price. I do recommend the set. If you haven't got the set, then definitely check it out. It's definitely worth it. It is an awesome addition to our animals from Disney, and other animals like the Tuxedo Cat, which is kind of like the black sheep here. And a few more things I did want to touch in is I did watch the 1961 101 Dalmatians movie. Turns out I've seen it probably 2 or 3 times before. It just does not stick with me. And I went with Lucky because, well, Lucky's the lucky one. He's the one that was number 15 and almost was not existent, and he came back, and then he had the really cool personality of enjoying the TV a little bit too much. And then after I watched the 1961 movie, I went back and watched that horrendous live-action remake of the movie in 1996, the one that I remember seeing in the theater with my mom. With that movie, Lucky was Lucky just like he was in the original movie. It's just, I don't know, that movie was terrible. That was the first Disney live-action remake ever, besides one other oddball one, but that was the first big one that they ever did, was in 1996. And that's what started this whole frenzy of Disney live-action remakes that we have going on to this day. Anyway, guys, if you guys are going to get into the 101 Dalmatians and enjoy this Lego set, enjoy it with the original 1961 movie. Yes, the animation leaves a lot to be desired, but the puppies talk, the people have a better connection, and yeah, it leaves some things out because they can't animate things like they can nowadays with computers, but it is the far better movie from the two. And with that, guys, I don't have much more to say. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button to follow along with everything that we do here. As usual, share the video with a friend, hit the like and thumbs up button, that would be awesome. As usual, drop comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Do you guys like the 101 Dalmatians? Do you guys like the original 61 version or the 96 live action remake version? And are those versions enough to make you want to buy this set and have it in your collection? Are you thinking about spending $15,000 and getting 100 of these guys and stacking them all up? Let me know in the comments down below. One last thing I did want to say about that little quip I just made. I did do a little bit of math, and if you did want to make about 99 of these, you would need about $15,000 to do so, and a lot of free time. And one last thing I did want to mention is I did realize watching the movies that the original dogs had 15 siblings. There was 15 Dalmatians. The other 84 or whatever it was came from other people that got their dogs stolen or taken from a pound. Anyway, on that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a good one.